Smile, hello everyone. In this video, we are going to talk about pathophysiology of hypertension. Right now, till now, we have discussed about the physiology. So, in this video, we are going to sum up the factor which we have discussed. So, pathophysiology of hypertension. So, hypertension means there is a abnormal elevation of blood pressure in the systemic arterial circulation. So hypertension can be systemic hypertension or pulmonary hypertension, but hypertension generally means we mean systemic hypertension, not pulmonary hypertension. Okay, so systemic hypertension means hypertension in the arterial system, blood pressure increases in the arterial system. So hypertension का मतलब दो जगह हो सकता है, सिस्टम में भी और पल्मोनरी हाइपरटेंशन में भी, बट हाइपरटेंशन का जनरल मीनिंग होता है कि सिस्टमिक सर्कुलेशन में प्रेशर इंक्रीज होगा, जो कि आर्टेरियल हाइपरटेंशन होता है, आर्टरीज में ब्लड प्रेशर हाई होना. ठीक है. And blood pressure is normally distributed in human population in the same fashion. There is a distribution of height and weight. Say if there is a in a particular population, female height is 5 feet 6 inch, but it doesn't mean that any female 2 inch shorter, taller than this value is considered as abnormal. In the same way, height, weight, color, everything is distributed, and we call it as Gaussian's curve. Okay, Gaussian's curve. So if you see in this picture, the average height is 5 feet 8, 5 feet 8 inches is the normal height. Okay. So the majority of population coming into this area. Okay. But there are some people who are having height more than 5 feet 8 inch, and some population who are having less than 5 feet 8 inch. But we cannot say those who are falling in this category or this category, they are having abnormal height. Okay, so this is average height. Okay, in the same way, blood pressure is also measured, and the average blood pressure is 120 by 80 mmHg. Okay, this is the, you can say this is the average value. Okay, but it is possible that some person are having 135 by 85, some person are having 150 by 75. So we cannot say that 135 by 85 is high blood pressure, 115 by 75 is low blood pressure. Okay. So for medical purpose, we have to develop some cut value for practical purposes, for management purposes. So this normal average blood pressure is measured. That is 120 by 80 mm of Hg. Okay. तो जैसे हाइट, वेट, कलर सब वैरी करता है लोगों में, और एक एवरेज हाइट होता है. से अगर यहाँ पे हमारे पास एवरेज हाइट है 5 फीट 8 इंच, तो उस कुछ लोगों का हाइट किसी एक पॉपुलेशन में 5 से ज़्यादा भी है, किसी का कुछ कम भी है. इसका हम ये नहीं कह सकते हैं कि जिनका कम है या ज़्यादा है वो एबनॉर्मल हाइट है. एवरेज हाइट जो है वो 5 फीट 8 इंचेस है. तो सेम वे में जब ब्लड प्रेशर हम मेजर करते हैं तो ब्लड प्रेशर 120 बाई 80 हम लोग एवरेज बोलते हैं, दैट इज एवरेज ब्लड प्रेशर. लेकिन कुछ लोगों का ब्लड प्रेशर 135 बाई 85 भी हो सकता है, कुछ लोगों का 115 बाई 75 भी हो सकता है. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि जिनका 135 बाई 85 है वो हाई ब्लड प्रेशर है, 115 बाई 75 है उनका लो ब्लड प्रेशर है. मेडिकल पर्पज के लिए, प्रैक्टिकल वे के लिए हम लोगों को नॉर्मल एक एवरेज फाइंड आउट करना था. Or if it know the concept of high blood pressure is not more than 100-125 years. Before that, the pressure was measured. The doctor used to check the pressure and through pulse. They used to know everything, every details through the pulse. And this normal blood pressure concept was introduced in US when there was a introduction of insurance company. They used to check the health checkup. Then they used to they had to give some criteria for normal people, for healthy people, and like that they come to a conclusion that we should find our average blood pressure, average sugar level, everything like that. So they found that 120 by 80 is recently they are telling every time they used to, American Health Association, they used to upgrade it and change it. At right now present we are talking about 120 by 80 as a normal blood pressure. If you know about the blood pressure of Mahatma Gandhi, it used to be more than 200 systolic, and diastolic used to be more than 100. It used to be 220 by 120. So this varies from person to person. As in Sejog, we know that it is hotness. So people who are having more hotness energy in their body, so they will tend to have high blood pressure. So it depends on the constitution, person to person it will vary. Okay, सो इसलिए ब्लड प्रेशर कोई फिक्स नहीं रहता है, पर्सन टू पर्सन वैरी करता है. सो एज सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर एंड डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर keeps increasing, then the complication of hypertension will also keep increasing. So right now blood pressure, systolic blood pressure is more than 130 is considered high, and diastolic more than 90 is considered high. Okay, so if systolic blood pressure is more than 140, you can say is called systolic blood pressure, and diastolic more than 90 we can say diastolic hypertension. And this particular value is chosen because through studies it was learned, it was found out that a person with an increased value more than 140 by 90 mmHg have significantly increased risk of cardiovascular complication and other complications related to hypertension. Okay, so in some patient will find only systolic blood pressure is increasing, and in some patient will find only diastolic blood pressure increasing, and in some patient will find that both systolic and diastolic blood pressure are increasing. Okay, earlier it was believed that diastolic blood pressure is more dangerous, but in recent studies it was proven that systolic blood pressure is more dangerous because it can develop, because patient can develop left ventricular hypertrophy leading to cardiovascular complications. Okay, so if we use this value 140 by 90 mmHg as a cutoff value, then between normal and pathological elevated BP, then this elevation should be sustained elevation. Okay, it's not that in one reading they are getting more than 140 by 90, then we can say that they are suffering from hypertension. Say if you are angry, your BP goes up, then after some time it becomes normal. This is the normal phenomena. Then it's not considered as hypertension. So this is the episodic elevation of blood pressure. Patients with hypertension should have sustained elevation of blood pressure, and the sustained elevation has to be proven by more than one reading. We can say 2 or 3 times of reading, then we will consider them as patient of hypertension. And in some in some cases, patient develop hypertension when they visit doctor's clinic. This is called white coat hypertension. Because of anxiety, their blood pressure increases. So we should check the blood pressure when they come to your clinic. You have to tell them to take rest, and after a few minutes you have to check their blood pressure. And sometime if it is high, then tell them to get the blood pressure check done when they are in relaxed position, when they are in home, so that we can understand whether it is really a hypertension or it is a white coat hypertension. Okay, तो ब्लड प्रेशर किसी का अगर एक बार इंक्रीज कर जाता है, से आप कभी एक रीडिंग आया 140/90 से ऊपर है, तो हम उन्हें ब्लड प्रेशर का पेशेंट नहीं बोल सकते हैं, क्योंकि जो ब्लड प्रेशर जो इंक्रीज होता है वो रेगुलर इंक्रीज होना चाहिए, और मोर देन 2-3 टाइम्स से चेकअप में हमें हाई ब्लड प्रेशर मिल रहा है, तब हम उन्हें हाइपरटेंशन का पेशेंट बोलेंगे. क्योंकि कभी कभी हम इमोशनली एंजाइटी में, एंगर में हमारा ब्लड प्रेशर इंक्रीज होता है, फिर वो नॉर्मल हो जाता है. ये नॉर्मल फिनोमेना है. ओके, और कभी कभी पेशेंट लोगों को डॉक्टर के क्लिनिक में एंजाइटी से भी ब्लड प्रेशर हाई हो जाता है, घर में नॉर्मल रहता है. इसको हम लोग व्हाइट कोट हाइपरटेंशन बोलते हैं. सो हम लोग को बहुत अच्छे से समझना होगा कि पेशेंट हाइपरटेंशन के हैं या नहीं हैं. So hypertension at an early stage is asymptomatic. This is very dangerous. They are generally asymptomatic and they produce symptoms when it is going to damage the end organ. Okay, so mild to moderate hypertension may exist for a long time before it produces the evidence of end organ injury. Okay, so that's why hypertension is very dangerous. And what are the 5 end organs which is going to be affected by hypertension? So these are heart. In heart, it may cause congestive heart failure, ischemic heart disease, sudden cardiac arrest. It can affect central nervous system. In central nervous system, there is TIA, transient ischemic attack. In that there is some time of stroke or paralysis that is resolved in 24 hours. That is called TIA. And stroke, which is the cerebral attack in which that paralysis occurs. And in kidney, there is hypertensive nephropathy. In eyes, there is retinopathy, and it can affect the blood vessel, and it can cause arteriosclerosis, degeneration in tissues, or large arteries. Okay, so the hypertension is a silent disease, so we have to be very careful. So continuous monitoring is very important. So we can classify the hypertension as a pre-hypertension, hypertension stage 1, hypertension stage 2, and next is malignant hypertension also. In pre-hypertension, blood pressure, systolic blood pressure will be 120 to 139 and diastolic will be 80 to 89. In hypertension stage 1, the blood systolic will be 140 to 159 and diastolic will be between 90 to 99. And in stage 2, the systolic will be more than 160 and diastolic will be more than 100. Okay. In malignant hypertension, it is not malignant means not cancerous. Malignant means it is very dangerous. Okay, it is very dangerous. It produces severe complications. Okay, and in this condition, diastolic BP is more than 120, and systolic sometimes goes more than 220, 200. Okay, and it can cause retinopathy. And in this condition, end organ damage is very severe and very rapid. Okay, and patient with malignant hypertension die within 1 year if they are not treated, and still data shows that patient is still 30% patient dies within 5 years. Okay, and in stage 1, in pre-hypertension, generally we don't modern science doctors also don't advise any pharmacological drugs. They advise them to change their lifestyle, diet, and so that they try to manage without any drugs. They will advise them for exercise, to stop smoking if they're smoking. Then lipid profile, they try to control the cholesterol level. They should avoid the excess salt, and any stressful event should be avoided or managed. Weight management is avoided. Diet should be maintained, and in diet they should take more fruits and vegetables, less fat, less calorie. Junk food should be avoided, and meditation and relaxation is advised. Okay, in pre-hypertension. In hypertension stage 1 and stage 2, they generally advise lifestyle modification, diet modification. With that, they advise drugs. Okay, and we can control the disease with our Sujok treatment with a lifestyle modification and diet modification. And this we know from our 6 key point of view, what is hypertension, what is hypertension. So generally stage 1 and stage 2 comes under hypertension, and malignant hypertension generally is hypertension. Okay, and if their blood pressure is sustaining always more than 160 and by 100, more than, they say, more than, always staying 180 by 100 like that, then it is called unit hypertension, unit hotness, 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 and unit hotness. In this way we can classify. And in this course we are going to discuss how the salt, extra salt, lack of exercise, smoking, weight, and everything is going to affect the physiology of our body, and eventually they will lead to the hypertension. What are the, how the hormonal and different hormones can affect our hypertension, blood pressure, and cause hypertension. Okay, सो ये हाइपरटेंशन हम लोगों ने जानते हैं एज पर द एनर्जी, कब हम आब लेते हैं, कब हॉटनेस लेते हैं, कब यूनिट हॉटनेस लेते हैं. एंड इस कोर्स में हम लोग ये डिस्कस करेंगे कि स्मोकिंग, लैक ऑफ एक्सरसाइज, डाइट, मोर सॉल्ट, इवन हार्मोन्स कैसे हमारे ब्लड प्रेशर को अफेक्ट करते हैं और हाइपरटेंशन होता है. ओके, so hypertension is of two types. One is essential hypertension, sometimes it is called primary hypertension or idiopathic hypertension, and second is called secondary hypertension. Okay, due to certain genetic influence in the body, with age blood pressure starts to increase, and there is no single factor that we can say is responsible for hypertension. So essential hypertension is due to multiple genetic or environmental factors. Say if blood vessels are more reactive, we cannot remove all blood vessels from the body to bring the blood pressure to normal range. And if heart is producing more cardiac output, we cannot remove heart. But sometime in some patient, there is well defined one condition, and if you remove that condition, BP will be settled down. For example, adrenal gland medulla tumor called pheochromocytoma, which produces a heavy amount of epinephrine and norepinephrine, and BP goes up. And if tumor is removed, then there is a good chance that BP will come down, because in this case BP is secondary to the tumor. So this is the difference between primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. So in some way, in same way, the pregnant females develop pregnancy induced hypertension. So BP is secondary to pregnancy. In someone is having hyperparathyroid, with that patient develops hypercalcemia and hypertension. So if we treat hyperparathyroidism, BP will come down. Okay. So in such type of hypertension, which is secondary to some well-defined pathological condition, if we treat the pathological condition in early stage, then BP will come down. Okay. So primary hypertension and secondary hypertension. Primary hypertension means कोई एक फैक्टर नहीं होता है, जनरली या तो जेनेटिक्स या एनवायरमेंटल फैक्टर, बहुत सारे रीजन के कारण एसेंशियल हाइपरटेंशन होता है. सेकेंडरी हाइपरटेंशन किसी पर्टिकुलर किसी डिजीज के कारण प्रेशर इंक्रीज होता है. सो इस कोर्स में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे कि कौन सा क्या कॉजेज है जो एसेंशियल हाइपरटेंशन के कारण जो कॉज करता है, एंड क्या कॉजेज है जो सेकेंडरी हाइपरटेंशन को कॉज करता है. सो हम लोग फाइंड आउट कर सकेंगे रूट कॉज किसी पेशेंट में एंड ट्रीट कर सकेंगे. सो जैसे कि एड्रिनल मेडुला में ट्यूमर है, तो ट्यूमर के कारण एपिनेफ्रिन नॉर एपिनेफ्रिन का सिक्रीशन ज्यादा होगा. तो उसके ज्यादा होने से जो लास्ट वीडियो में हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया है कि कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन हाई होता है, एंड कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन होने से कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ता है, लाइक दैट इंक्रीज होता है. अगेन हम लोग बहुत डिटेल में इसको डिस्कस करने वाले हैं. कभी कभी प्रेगनेंसी में प्रेशर हाई हो जाता है, तो वो प्रेशर सेकेंडरी हाइपरटेंशन है. किसी किसी को हाइपरथायराइड पैराथायराइडिज्म में कैल्शियम इंक्रीज लेवल हाई होता है, ब्लड प्रेशर हाई होता है. तो इन सब केसेस में अगर हम कॉज को ट्रीट कर देंगे तो ब्लड प्रेशर कम हो जाएगा. ओके. So in this course, we are going to discuss in detail what are the causes, how the body, under what circumstances the essential blood pressure, what are the cause for essential blood pressure, and what are the cause for non-essential secondary blood pressure. Okay. In someone has inherited the gene, and according to those genes, all the arterioles in the body have an extra amount of smooth muscles, and the patient may develop hypertension. So in this case, we can't remove all the extra smooth muscle to bring down the blood pressure. So we have to control so that the smooth muscles should work in a proper way. They should not increase the blood pressure. So we will discuss. So what are the physiological factors that regulate the blood pressure? So the blood pressure is highly dependent on cardiac output and total peripheral resistance. The cardiac output we discussed already. The cardiac output controls, or due to cardiac output, systolic blood pressure depends on the cardiac output, and diastolic blood pressure depends on the total peripheral resistance. So if cardiac output increases, the systolic blood pressure will increase, and if total peripheral resistance will increase, then the diastolic blood pressure will increase. Okay. So let's suppose heart is producing good cardiac output. It means in systole, it is contracting strongly. So in systole, it is contracting strongly. And when BP is measured at the brachial artery, during the systole, lot of blood moves from left ventricle to the aorta. Lot of blood from the left ventricle move to the aorta. Okay. And this is the pressure which is present in the ventricular cavity, during the systole. And at that time, this mitral valve is closed. This mitral valve will be closed. So, okay. And the ventricle squeezes the blood, and the pressure in the cavity becomes 120 mm Hg. So this we have discussed in the cardiac cycle, that how these valves open and when these valves close, and when these mitral valves close, at that time the left ventricle works like a single chamber and it start contracting. That is the systolic phase. And when the pressure in the left ventricle reaches 120 mm of Hg, at that time this aortic valves open and the blood pushes into the aorta. So at that time it becomes one chamber, and the pressure at that time is 120 mm of Hg. So when we measure the blood pressure in the brachial artery, the pressure during the systole, the highest pressure during the systole is 120 mm of Hg. Okay. So as the aortic valve opened during the systole, at the peak of the systole, lots of blood is coming from the ventricle to the major arterial tree, and there is no resistance between the left ventricle and major arteries as the aortic valve is open. So whatever pressure present in the ventricle is transferred to the arterial system. And if someone has more cardiac output, ventricles are more strongly contracting, and suppose peak pressure of 140 mmHg is generated in the ventricle cavity. So pressure at the brachial artery will be 140 mm of Hg. And if heart having low cardiac output, the heart is diseased and contracting very poorly, and it generates a pressure of 100 mm of Hg. Only then pressure is 100 mm Hg at the brachial artery. So systolic BP is the pressure which is measured from the major artery when heart is at the peak of the systole. So systolic BP is directly dependent on cardiac output. सो इन कार्डियक साइकिल हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था कि कैसे ये कार्डियक साइकिल काम करता है, कैसे हमारा वाल्व क्लोज होता है, वाल्व ओपन होता है. सो ड्यूरिंग द सिस्टोल क्या होता है, लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल कॉन्ट्रैक्ट करता शुरू होता है तो माइट्रल वाल्व क्लोज हो जाता है. उस टाइम लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल सिंगल चैम्बर के रूप में काम करता है एंड उसमें प्रेशर इंक्रीज होता है, और जैसे जैसे प्रेशर 120 mmHg तक रीच करता है एरोटिक वाल्व ओपन होता है. एंड एरोटिक वाल्व ओपन होने से जो भी ब्लड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में होता है वो पुश होता है एरोटा में, और वो एरोटा एंड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल एक चैम्बर के रूप में काम करता है. तो जो भी प्रेशर उस टाइम पे लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में होता है वो प्रेशर फील होता है इन एरोटा. अगर वो प्रेशर 140 mmHg है तो एरोटा में प्रेशर 140 mmHg फील होगा, और जब आप ब्रैकियल प्रेशर्स में ब्रैकियल आर्टरी में ब्लड प्रेशर मेजर करेंगे तो वो 140 या 120 जो भी प्रेशर होगा वो आप मेजर कर पाएंगे. अगर मान लीजिए आपका हार्ट कम काम कर रहा है, पुअर है, उसका हेल्थ अच्छा नहीं है हार्ट मसल्स का एंड कार्डियक आउटपुट कम हो रहा है, कार्डियक आउटपुट अगर 100 mm ऑफ Hg है तो हम जो प्रेशर मेजर करेंगे तो उसमें 100 mm ऑफ Hg प्रेशर फील होगा. तो सिस्टोलिक प्रेशर वो प्रेशर है जब हम आर्टरीज में मेजर कर रहे हैं जब हार्ट अपने पीक ऑफ द सिस्टोल पे रहता है. So systolic blood pressure directly dependent है on cardiac output. अगर आपका cardiac output ज्यादा होगा तो systolic blood pressure ज्यादा होगा, अगर cardiac output कम होगा तो systolic blood pressure कम होगा. हमें समझना होगा कि कौन से फैक्टर हैं जो कार्डियक आउटपुट को इंक्रीज करते हैं, कौन से फैक्टर हैं जिनके कारण कार्डियक आउटपुट कम होता है. अगर हम उस फैक्टर को समझ जाते हैं तो हम सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर हाई होने में समझ पाएंगे कि किस पेशेंट का सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर क्यों बढ़ रहा है, क्योंकि कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ रहा है. कार्डियक आउटपुट क्यों बढ़ रहा है तो हम समझेंगे कार्डियक आउटपुट बढ़ने के क्या क्या कारण है, वो समझ जाएंगे तो हम कारण को फाइंड आउट कर पाएंगे और हम उसके अकॉर्डिंग ट्रीटमेंट कर पाएंगे. ओके. So in systolic blood pressure, if someone's systolic blood pressure is high, then we have to understand the systolic blood pressure is dependent on cardiac output. So we have to find out what are the factors which affect the cardiac output. If we can understand the factor which affect the cardiac output, then we can find the root cause, and if any patient's systolic blood pressure is high, then we can control the systolic blood pressure. Diastolic blood pressure. If pressure in the major artery when the left ventricle is undergoing diastole, when it is relaxing. So during diastole, the left ventricle relaxes, so intraventricular pressure starts to drop. So when the blood is pushed from the left ventricle in the aorta, and then the blood pressure will fall in the ventricle. This we have already discussed in cardiac cycle. Then this aortic valve will close. Okay. At that time, the blood present in the aorta will try to move in the both direction, but since this aortic valve will close, so they cannot go backward, they go in the forward direction. So the pressure remain at that time in the this aorta during the diastole is the diastolic pressure. Okay. So as soon as the ventricle starts to lag due to the termination of systole and onset of diastole, intraventricular pressure starts going down, and this pressure becomes very less in the major artery, so the blood will try to go back. But as soon as the blood tries to go back, the aortic valve immediately closes. And during the ventricular diastole, when aortic valve is closed, there is no relation between the blood in the arterial system and pressure within the cardiac chamber. As mitral valve is closed, so extremely falling BP in the ventricular chamber is not able to influence the pressure in the major artery. Once systole is terminated, no more blood is coming to major vessels, and aortic valve is closed at that very moment when the heart is undergoing diastole. Then the minimum pressure which is present in the major artery is diastolic blood pressure. This is called diastolic pressure. So diastolic pressure does not depend on cardiac output because during diastole there is no output. It depends on how much blood volume is present in the arterial system. When BP is measured during the diastole, the pressure in the brachial artery will be the pressure that is exerted by the volume of blood present in the major arteries. Okay, so जब डायस्टोल सिस्टोल फिनिश हो जाता है और जब डायस्टोलिक फेज में क्या होता है कि प्रेशर इन वेंट्रिकल से कम होने लगता है, एंड जब कम होता है तो धीरे धीरे जब 120 के नीचे आएगा तो एरोटिक वाल्व जो है वो क्लोज हो जाएगा. सो जब क्लोज होगा तो ब्लड बैकवर्ड नहीं जा सकता है, ब्लड को फॉरवर्ड जाना है. तो उस टाइम जो प्रेशर इन्वॉल्व प्रेजेंट रहता है इन द आर्टरी उसे हम लोग डायस्टोलिक प्रेशर बोलते हैं. सो ये उस टाइम कार्डियक आउटपुट कुछ नहीं हो रहा होता है, इसलिए डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर कार्डियक आउट पर डिपेंड नहीं करता है. डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर सिर्फ उस टाइम जो ब्लड आर्टरीज में प्रेजेंट है उसका जो प्रेशर आ रहा है उसके ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. सो वो डिपेंड करता है पेरिफेरल रेसिस्टेंस, आर्टरीज में कितना रेसिस्टेंस है, क्या रेसिस्टेंस के अगेंस्ट में उस ब्लड को फ्लो करना पड़ रहा है आगे जाने के लिए, उस प्रेशर को हम लोग डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर बोलते हैं. सो जब हम लोग ब्लड प्रेशर मेजर करते हैं तो दो चीजें होती है, एक सिस्टोलिक एंड डायस्टोलिक. सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर जब हमारा हार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है, लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल में मेनली कॉन्ट्रैक्ट कर रहा है, राइट वेंट्रिकल लंग्स में ब्लड भेज रहा है, दैट इज पल्मोनरी सर्कुलेशन में, एंड लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल हमारा ब्लड भेज रहा है इन सिस्टमिक सर्कुलेशन में. तो सिस्टमिक ब्लड प्रेशर जो डिपेंड करता है वो लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल के ऊपर डिपेंड करता है. सो लेफ्ट वेंट्रिकल जो ब्लड पंप कर रहा है वो कार्डियक आउटपुट जो आ रहा है ड्यूरिंग सिस्टोल पंप करने के टाइम जो प्रेशर फील हो रहा है इन द आर्टरीज वो हमारा सिस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर है. एंड जब वो रिलैक्स कर रहा है, जब ब्लड प्रेशर हार्ट रिलैक्स कर रहा है और ब्लड प्रेशर उसका कम हो रहा है, उस टाइम क्या होता है वेंट्रिकल का चेंबर सिंगल चेंबर बन जाता है, एओर्टिक वाल्व क्लोज हो जाता है. तो उस टाइम जो ब्लड प्रेशर रिमेन्स जो रह जाता है इन द ब्लड वेसल उसे हम लोग डायस्टोलिक ब्लड प्रेशर बोलते हैं. और उस टाइम कोई कार्डियक आउटपुट नहीं हो रहा है, सो वो जो प्रेशर जो रिमेनिंग प्रेशर आर्टरीज में रह जाता है वो उस कार्डियक आउटपुट पे डिपेंड नहीं कर रहा है. वो डिपेंड किस पे कर रहा है, जब सिर्फ ब्लड प्रेशर जब वॉल्यूम जो ब्लड का रह गया वो मूव करना है आगे बेस्ड ऑन द रेसिस्टेंस ऑफ द आर्टरीज. आर्टरीज जो रेसिस्टेंस प्रोड्यूस कर रहा है उसके अगेंस्ट में, जैसे कि मान लीजिए आर्टरीज कॉन्स्ट्रिक्ट कर चुका है तो ज्यादा रेसिस्टेंट होगा, आर्टरीज डायलेटेड है तो कम रेसिस्टेंट होगा. तो ये डायलेशन एंड कॉन्स्ट्रिक्शन के ऊपर ब्लड प्रेशर डिपेंड करेगा ड्यूरिंग डायस्टोलिक फेज. सो जो डायस्टोलिक फेज है दैट डिपेंड्स ऑन द पेरिफेरल रेसिस्टेंस, देन द रेसिस्टेंस ऑफर्ड बाय द आर्टरीज, and the systolic blood pressure depends on the blood volume, the cardiac output जो blood out हो रहा है in from the diastole into the aorta. So this is the two major factor, that is the cardiac output and total peripheral resistance which controls the our blood pressure. Okay, so in the next video we will discuss what are the factor which affect cardiac output and what are the factor which controls total peripheral resistance. Okay, smile, thanks.